What is up, everybody? Retro20 here, aka at Retro on the interwebs. Thanks for coming back. Haven't seen you guys in about 3 days. Sorry, podcast delayed, all that jazz. I'm just a mess. Yeah, but today we're going to be talking about Alien Isolation and Dying Light and all these relevant games and stuff. You know why? Because it's all about games length. I think you should see that by the title, hopefully, or the thumbnail. Today, I wanted to talk about this because it is something that I feel is mixed messaging. Developers, critics, people on the internet always say that they want more longer games or more meatier campaigns, but I don't think they really mean it. So, let's talk about this a bit. Now, if you don't know, Alien Isolation is a video game made by Sega. This is not a sequel to Colonial Marines, but rather a survival horror game. And it came out this week, once the reviews and embargoes broke, that the game is 20 plus hours, which is huge, and really, really long for a survival horror game in specific. So, this brought a lot of people attention. People are like, a lot of people said it was either good or bad. The IGN review said this was a negative because the game was too drawn out. 6 hours was probably when the game should have stopped. In Ryan McCaffrey's opinion, a lot of people actually liked it. So it's a lot of mixed messaging. Some people hate it, some people like it. But then Dying Light is coming out, and it's supposed to be 50 plus hours. So there's this huge gap where games are either becoming really short or huge beyond belief. And I think it's something that critics and gamers don't really understand what they're asking for, because a lot of people look at games as an investment. Like, okay, I'm paying $60 for a game, and I better get my time out of it, and this better be 20 plus hours. That's not how you should look at a video game. When you buy a video game of any type, if I buy, Sly Cooper for the PS2. If I'm buying this game, I shouldn't look at it, oh, this is how much characters it has, is that multiplayer, does it have this? No, you shouldn't do that. You should okay, well, is it something that interests me? Is it cool? Do I think that I'm going to like it? You shouldn't look at, oh wow, is this 8 plus hours? This game should have been 40 bucks, so it's only 4 hours. It's all about enjoyment. And if you enjoy the game in a short amount of time, then that's cool. But I think people that love that play a game that's really short, they're like, oh, I wish I had more. So the developer's like, okay, cool, we'll make a huge game. But then the magic is lost there. There's some greatness in finesse. With a movie, you can't really do much. Well, my camera just froze, sorry. You can't really do much in 2 hours, but they jam-pack things in 2 hours in a movie, 3 hours. And that's what's cool about film, is that they have this time constraint, and they have to do something with it, and it gives you through a ride, or it gives you a crappy movie. So that's what I really like about film, and I think that's something that's really cool about games also, is that a short 4-hour, 5-hour campaign could really, really help a game and could actually make it feel better and tighter, cleaner, and people just keep on asking, we want more, and sometimes that's not bad. I mean, some games should be longer. I mean, there's a thing as a short video game. Some games just cut off at the ending, but some games just should be short and sweet, and I think survival horror is one of the biggest things. Survival horror shouldn't be a 20-hour long escapade into darkness, because it loses its huge appeal to it, because you're playing the game, you're like, oh, it's not really scary after the 5th hour, because you're doing the same thing over and over and over. The survival horror games get really repetitive. Same thing with Dying Light and games like that. A lot of people don't want to grind. I saw a Kotaku article, which I'll link below, is an editorial, and it was a really good one, where the person that was writing, I forget who wrote it, was saying that, listen, that person wanted a game that didn't have grinding. He wanted a game that's a legitimate story, or shorter or sweeter. Grinding shouldn't be a huge thing, and I agree with that. That grinding, instead of saying, okay, here's 500 hours of grinding, how about you have maybe a 10-hour campaign, or a shorter campaign, or a more compact multiplayer. You shouldn't have hours and hours of grinding as a feature point, because grinding isn't fun. Grinding is grinding. Grinding is, okay, I'm going to listen to music in the background while I mindlessly do things. When has that ever been a good thing? So that's my main complaint with a lot of these games, that if they were doing a 20+ hour campaign right, like it should be done, like in Mass Effect or Witcher, which actually makes the most of these 20+ hour campaigns, they shouldn't. Some of these games are just like 20+ hours for no reason. Like Alien Isolation, I didn't play the game yet, and I shouldn't really be judging a game by its cover. But a 20+ hour game that's, you know, a survival horror and doesn't really have much detail to that's just being 20 hours for being 20 hours. Now, I think that long games are cool, long games are fun, but I just feel in my heart that if you're going to be making a game, if you're going to be doing something, instead of trying to make it longer to get more people in, make a story that you feel is good, make a campaign that you feel is good, and then hopefully fans will revolve around it. And hopefully fans will finally see that games are not an investment, but just a story or a gameplay mechanic. You know, you shouldn't go into a game looking if you got your $60 out of it. You should go into it and say, hey, this game was good, or this game was bad. So, what do you guys think? Is a game an investment, or am I dumb? Should I make more videos? Thanks for watching. Also, I probably am going to write something about this, hopefully, on my Tumblr, rajformer.tumblr.com. Hopefully that's a Tumblr. I don't know how Tumblr works. Thanks, bye, kawaii.